Hi, I'm Justin Kuzinski, and this is my audience.
Did I get everybody? Yep, okay.
Have you ever watched a concert before of an orchestra or a band, and you see the weird guy up front on a little podium doing this? See, he's doing that for a reason, and he's doing something called conducting. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Conducting can be fun, but it's hard to do. But I'm going to make it easy for you. First, we're going to talk about the basics. How do we stand? How do we hold our hands? All that fun stuff. Then, we'll just discuss the patterns that we use. I'll go over those later when we get to that section. And then finally, we'll talk about changing styles with different tempos. So now, let's begin with the basics. First, we're going to talk about how to stand. You don't want to stand with your feet together or in the splits because that's uncomfortable and it'll look bad. You want to stand about shoulder width apart. That's a really good base. Then your hands, you want them at a nice here, about here. You don't want them in a T-Rex, you can't see. You don't want a Frankenstein because you can't read that either. You want it nice, just in front of your upper hips. Then now, we have that. Let's talk about our hands. You don't want to look like this. You don't want to look like the Wicked Witch from the West because that is hard to read. You want to look nice and neat. A nice little curve to the hands. Nice little C, I like to call it. Hands nice together with the thumb. You don't want to have the thumbs out because, again, it looks bad. And conductors don't want to look bad. We love the aura farm. So now, let's talk about this. This little thing right here. As you can see, this is called a metronome, and I'm going to play it for you. You hear that really annoying ringing sound, and that's called the beats. So right now, it will set at 150 beats per minute, and that's where the bars are. So that's where you'll see the conductors conduct in time with the 1, 2, and all the fun stuff. This is the case of the little stick they wave. This is called a baton, and it's an extension of our arm. And it makes it a lot easier to read us. Excuse me. Now, we talked about the basics. Let's get into conducting. First off, I'm going to teach you the easiest pattern that anyone can learn. It's called firm 4 or 3 ictus. So you come here, the ictus point is where your hand hits. So like here, that's the ictus. Here, ictus. So this is firm 4. I'll just show you, then I'll explain it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So firm 4 is typically used for faster tempos, about 144 beats per minute on up. So when we have that, it's nice and crisp, and they can easily read the tempo and not split off at any points of the piece. And we use that because if we do something called arrow 4, which looks like this, it looks bad at a faster tempo, and then you can't read me. So there is firm 4, and now let's talk about arrow 4, which I just talked about. You make an arrow with your hands, as you can see. In the ictus point, it's called single ictus because your ictus point is in the same spot every time. And then now, we get onto the last 4, which is multi-ictus, which is a different ictus point every time, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is generally used between 100 and 144, and then arrow is used between 100 and under. Perfect. Let's talk about 3 really quickly. 3 is a really common one, and typically most conductors use triangle 3, which is 1, 2, 3. As you can see, my arms are making a right triangle, because if we don't make a right triangle, it's really bad. Anywho, let's move on. We've talked about the basics, and we've talked about patterns. Now, let's move on, adding it on with the metronome and changing our tempos. So first, we're going to talk arrow 4, and not arrow 4, excuse me. We're going to talk about firm 4, which is 3 ictus points, and we have the metronome right here, set up at 150 beats per minute, which is over 144. We have it going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And I am hitting the ictus every single beat. Perfect. That is firm 4. Now, let's set the metronome to about 120 beats per minute. And we're going to talk about multi-ictus. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. control, no flailing arms, no witch fingers. Perfect. You just learned all that. Now, let's talk about arrow. We're gonna set the met to 80 beats per minute, which is under 100. And you can see it's really slow. If we did firm 4 here, so let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Now, let's go to 3 real quick. Back up to 150. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Perfect. Now, as we wrap this speech up, let's go over what I've taught you. You learned the basics: how to stand, how to hold your fingers, know which fingers, and have good home base. Then we talked about all the 4s: firm, multi, and single ictus. And then we talked about the triangle 3 and how to change tempos with the metronome and stay on beat. So, conducting is really fun, but it's really hard for harder pieces, but you just learned the basics, and I hope you can now go conduct and have some fun with it. Thank you.
Good job.